So basically what happened here, just a standard Esper deck doing all the fun things Esper decks usually do, including playing Fall of Thran with Remorseful Cleric and exiling every single land that the opponent has, and then cycling Teferis infinitely with his emblem active, with enough mana to hold open and absorb every single turn.
I fucking
Turns out
love it.
that's a one game. So as you can see here, my opponent doesn't want me to win the game, so he's actually so upset that he's holding a stop on my upkeep for no reason whatsoever other than to try and annoy me, which
He's so
if he
salty.
keeps going with this, I will submit this recording to WotC and see what they have to say about it. Maybe Chris Clay will be a bro. That'd be cool. Apparently, he doesn't want to let me draw my last card in the deck, which is, of course, Teferi. And as you can see, the Fall of Thran has completely taken him out of the game. And this was a very long game that took me a long time. As you can see, he has 46 cards in exile. A lot of back and forth happened, but by the end of it, my opponent has seen enough, but apparently he hasn't seen all of the things that he wants to see, because he wants to stay in this game for as long as possible, for probably his joy. I'm not really sure. Seems to be having a fun time, so I'll let him have a fun time with me. We can share this moment together, and it'll be really nice. So basically, I don't have any
It's
cards
just
on
a
my
good
deck,
moment.
so I would be concerned about milling out, but the fun thing about Teferi is that when you have his emblem and then another Teferi, you'll never mill yourself, and it's great. And as my opponent's sitting here contemplating his life decisions, I'll let Teferi stay on the stack for however long he wants. And once he hits the board, Teferi is going to shuffle himself promptly back into my library, where he belongs, really. Especially at this point in the game. It seems my opponent is he's just not having a good day. He probably wants to hit top 8 Mythic like myself, but I think I might have this one in the bag. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like I have a huge advantage over my opponent at all, but you know. Oh, with the very last second, he lets Teferi resolve. Isn't that cute? That's really cute.
That's adorable.
This guy doesn't want to play the game fair, apparently, because he's just gonna take his sweet time every turn. Even though I beat him with a completely legitimate combo, even in best of one, and this person just doesn't seem to appreciate the kindness
He's
of
not
a
over
fellow
it
human
yet.
being. He's definitely upset. If I could see the face of my opponent right now, which looks like Teferi, and Teferi doesn't seem very happy right now, so I'd assume that the face of Teferi, that is the avatar of my opponent, is well matching the current emotional state of my opponent. Like a little bit of like anger mixed with like disappointment, like most fathers, things like that. And he's gonna wait until the last second with the rope again. So that's cool. Maybe I should start streaming this, but it's whatever. I'll just put it on YouTube or something. Nice, he drew his card, and he put a stop on my upkeep, just to make sure that actually he's probably got a stop on every step of my turn, because he wants to take up as much of my time as possible. So what other productive things could I be doing right now? I'll open up my laptop and start just dicking around. It's probably the right move. Well, it's a good thing that I hit record when I did, because even though it would have been nice to see the whole game, at least seeing this just makes up for it. So I'll allow it. I'm not even mad. Like this guy is just being a little bit of a child, if I may say so. because apparently he doesn't take losses very well, which is a bummer, but you know, my opponent has 7 turns left, so that's cool. We're just waiting for my opponent to consider his next move, which is likely land pass, and that's all he's ever going to be able to do. So yeah. And to my friend Abby in Discord, you don't have to stay for this whole thing. I think you know I think you know where this is going.
All
But
right,
if
cool.
you want to stay for the whole thing, that's fine by me. But this is a secure win, and my opponent's just being a little immature.
Awesome. Let me know how long it lasts. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I'll probably take the next like 15 minutes or something. Whatever. Whatever, dude.
See you.
See you, man. Oh wow, that's a surprise. He played Hollowed Fountain. Oh my god. I had to at MegaMogwai for this this deck that has caused so much frustration in my opponent. I'm sure he'd love this. Any second now, I could draw my card and exile his land and play Teferi. Do the same thing I've done for the last about 4 turns. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Oh, opponent. Who hurt you? Who hurt you, man? Who hurt you? Exile the land. Teferi. Resolves. Of course it resolves. Put him in the bin.
Stand by and watch. I'm not ready.
Pass the turn back. But my opponent stops on probably. He's probably put stops on all of these things over here, like this. So he's gonna sit here for however long he can. I'm gonna give him the nice emote because he's playing really nice right now. Oh my gosh. I could keep talking, but at this point it would basically just be a repetition of what I've already said. Because nothing's really changing, and I'm gonna have to sit here for the next 10 to 15 minutes waiting for this guy to take his next 6 turns. And when he does, it'll finally be over, and both of us can go back to our normal scheduled lives. This guy does not appear to be wanting to play the game. It's pretty humorous when people like this just rope you for no apparent reason other than like them feeling bad about their loss in a completely fair fashion. This isn't Nexus of Fate. This isn't some BS stuff that like everybody is doing that's really frustrating. It's just like a neat deck that happens to have a combo in it alongside being a pretty standard Esper control sort of strategy.
I won't hide from the world any longer.
Put them in the library. Let you have your turn. You draw a card again. Yep. Poor opponent. I think he could have played this better because I assumed that he had 2 Mortifies left because he actually only cast. Where's the Mortify? There's a Mortify somewhere in here. At some point, he mortified my Iskanta. Where is it? There's a Mortify. So he Mortified in his Kanta over here, and he's undoubtedly got 2 more Mortifies in his hand. And when I played Fall of Thran, he could have tapped all of his lands in response. And if he did that, I wouldn't have gotten my lands back because he could have just played Mortify. But since he didn't, since I tapped all my lands when I played Fall of Thran, I had mana to play Remorseful Cleric and then exile all of his stuff. But he didn't tap his mana in response, so he wasn't able to actually respond to my Fall of Thran with a Mortify like he should have. And now that he's upset because of his mistake, he's going to take it out on me for some reason. But that's okay. It's time to really appreciate the art that is on the field. Seems there's a bunch of spirals, nested circles, a lot of cool geometric stuff. Oh, he says oops. Yeah, very nice opponent. And I'm not entirely sure what the symbol is supposed to mean. But it looks like there's some jagged teeth here, so maybe... No, there's no way. Probably not a dragon.
This isn't a fight you can win.
Thing I've been doing for the past while.
Much more
Go
malleable
ahead, it's your
than
turn
people
again.
think.
He has a stop on both of our upkeeps, and probably both of our end steps. So it didn't seem like he had to stop on my end step there. So he shaved off a little bit of time he could have used to rope me longer. Really like the plants in the background. The interactable, nope. That one, nope. I know there's like a little little firefly sort of bug that walks around every once in a while that I can click on and interact with. That's pretty cool. Maybe it'll show up sometime. Here's some butterflies. It's like these flowers are doing quite nicely. Oh, he finally drew his card. He's got 3 more turns left. Well, 2. And then he dies. Ooh, it's a Glacial Fortress. Wow. That's amazing. That's a pretty good card. I have one of those myself in my my graveyard somewhere. Let's see. There they are. There's 4 Glacial Fortresses. I have 4 of them because I think it's a pretty good card. Enables a lot of multicolored strategies. There are plenty of other cards like it for other colors. Definitely a good thing to put your wild cards into. I think this thing's a dragon over here. Dragon, maybe a dinosaur, probably a dinosaur. There's another little figurine of dinosaur. You can see his eyes there. Oh, it's time to exile his land. And then you guys know the drill. Teferi, -3 on himself. So
Let's
I don't
slow
mill.
this
Make sure I
down.
click yes.
You need to take the time
And
out.
it's his turn again. He's got 1 more card in his deck. And I'm just chilling here, having some fun, some quality magic. And I think this guy was 99% too. I think he's just a little tilted about... There's a lizard. Nice. Just a little bit tilted about his rank, and maybe he wanted to be top 8, top 100, whatever, something cool. And, what's he gonna do with his last 2 turns? Is it anything I have to worry about? Probably not. Let's rearrange these so my OCD doesn't mess with me too much. It appears he is going for the rope play. It's a very, very nice strategy here is to rope your opponent so they think that their opponent is actually smarter than they are, because when they take so much time thinking, it really scares you because you think that they're thinking of some grand master plan. I'm not sure what sort of grand master plan Soren has, but it's definitely not any way to become Lord of Innistrad, that's for sure, because he spelled it wrong here, see? So there's no way for him to be Lord of Innistrad with that T there. You got 2 more turns. 1 turn to draw another card, and 1 turn to die.
This isn't a fight you can win. Reverse!
Alright. You gonna let it run all the way out? No, not quite. Come on. Draw your last pathetic card, Soren. See what it'll do, what good it'll do. It's actually pretty amusing that this happened to me. This is actually the first time that someone's actually gone out of their way to rope intentionally and leave me in the game with them. Especially in such a dominating fashion that the end of this game took, where I just have all the lands and he doesn't have any. But at least it gives me enough room on the board to kind of look at the art and texture of the ground here, which is okay to look at, I suppose. Where's his last card? What's gonna happen when I pass to the end of my turn? It's almost like there's a rule in Magic the Gathering that when you draw the last card of your deck, you lose. Or when you would draw from your library and there's no cards in it, you take your draw step and lose because there's nothing left to draw. And that is a perfectly viable win condition, which doesn't always happen like this. But sometimes it does, and I actually really hope that I go up from 99% to I don't know, 1100 or something with this. Does it just make the victory even more impressionable? I'm just gonna do that for the
I'm known for my excellent
Guardian
timing.
Teferi.
Let's take it back.
Okay, you have your last minute or so to think about what you've done. When will you take your draw step? Do you want to savor these last few moments with me, Soren? That'd be pretty nice. Just nice heart to heart with your opponent. The game's about to end. You just wanted to take every last little bit of time that you have with them and appreciate it. And that's a really good philosophy by my opponent, and I actually really appreciate the sentiment. But I also would like to get out of this game at some point, because I've won and he's lost. So we have another, I don't even know how many seconds this is, like 20 seconds before it's all over. What a victory. If only I could have captured when I played Fall of Thran with a Remorseful Cleric, that would have been nice. And it's finally over! Yes! And I'm still 99%, well that sucks. Oh well, we'll get it next time. And well, that's, I guess that's a video. Cool. Not a very interesting video, but a video nonetheless. Alright, and that'll be it.